Namaste, hello, and welcome back to another video on Papyrus and Parchment. My name is Bonnie, and today's video is going to be about my TBR for Retro Romance Readathon 2026 Summer Edition. And this readathon is the brainchild of Storm from Storm Reads, and it has been co-hosted by Sera from reading category romance. I'll leave a link to their announcement videos in the description box below, as well as in the overhead cards above. Now, I stumbled upon this readathon while going through the various readathons happening in July, which have been compiled very kindly by Paige from Pages with Paige. I'll leave a link to her video in the description box below, as well as in the overhead cards above, should you want to check out all the readathons which are happening here on booktube in the month of July. So this readathon will be running from the 5th of July to the 19th of July. And although there are no prompts for this readathon and no challenges, the only requirement is that the cover should be theme-based. So we should read books which are, of course, retro-themed. And the cover should be either a sunset cover or a summer moonlit night. So with that, let me take you through my TBR.
Saturday sun shining low on my lane. Got a front seat hard for my Jenny May. Pulled up slow, hair tied back with a bow. Little red shoes on the dash in a row. Speaker on the window, crackling soft and gray. But I'm watching her more than the show today. Jenny May at the drive, and you turn my blue world cherry red.
Welcome back. So when it comes to the books, I do not have the physical copies as of now, because there are a few which are arriving as of yet. So I have a couple of them on my Kindle and a couple of them on audiobooks. So I'll be putting up the original retro covers of these books over here or over here, and I will be reading out the synopsis because I have that in front of me. So I'll be reading it out from here. So the first book on my TBR is Mistress of Mellyn by Victoria Holt. And the synopsis reads as: Mount Mellyn stood as proud and magnificent as she had envisioned. But what about its master, Colin Tremellyn? Was Martha Leigh's new employer as romantic as his name sounded? As she approached the sprawling mansion towering above the cliffs of Cornwall, an odd chill of apprehension overcame her. Tremellyn's young daughter, Alvienne, proved as spoiled and difficult as the three governesses before Martha had discovered. But it was the girl's father whose cool, arrogant demeanor unleashed unfamiliar sensations and turmoil, even as whispers of tragedy and present danger begin to insinuate themselves into Martha's life. Powerless against her growing desire for the enigmatic Colin, she is drawn deeper into the family secrets as passion overpowers reason, sending her head and heart spinning. But though evil lurks in the shadows, so does love, and the freedom to find a golden promise forever. So when it comes to the cover, I think I can't really make out whether it's a moonlit thing because it's pretty dark, and because it's pretty old, so it looks like it's moonlight, but it could also be sunlight or sunset. And it is a gothic retro romance, which I'm really looking forward to reading. And the next book on my TBR is a very famous book. In fact, there is a movie which has been made on this book by the author, who happens to be a director as well. So this is the first in the duology called The Notebook by Niicholas Sparks. Now, Niicholas Sparks has written this in the late 90s, but the story is set in the 1950s. So the synopsis goes as: set amid the austere beauty of the North Carolina coast begins the story of Noah Calhoun, a rural southerner recently returned from the Second World War. Noah is restoring a plantation home to its former glory, and he is haunted by the images of the beautiful girl he met 14 years earlier, a girl he loved like no other. Unable to find her, yet unwilling to forget the summer they spent together, Noah is content to live with only memories until she unexpectedly returns to his town to see him once again. Like a puzzle within a puzzle, the story of Noah and Ali is just beginning. As it unfolds, the tale miraculously becomes something different with much higher stakes. The result is a deeply moving portrait of love itself, the tender moments, and the fundamental changes that affect us all. It is a story of miracles and emotion that will stay with you forever. Now, this is concluded with The Weddings by Niicholas, and I believe Storm had also mentioned in the announcement videos that because Weddings takes place in summer, so we could go for a cover which has a wedding theme on it as well. But unfortunately, I could not find this book at all. So I will be including a wedding themed cover book as well. And I happened to just stumble upon it a few days ago, and it's yet to arrive. So anyway, we'll move on to the next book on my TBR, which is also by Victoria Holt. So of course, it is a Gothic read, and it's a Gothic retro romance. So it's called The Curse of the Kings. So the synopsis reads as: for centuries, the tombs of the pharaohs were haunted by a deadly curse, and when two eminent archaeologists had died mysteriously, Judith Osmond was certain that it was a curse at work. Then, overnight, her life changed. There was an unexpected inheritance. Then Tybalt, a young archaeologist and the man she adored, asked her to marry him. But Tybalt planned a honeymoon amid the tombs of the pharaohs, and suddenly it looked as if the curse of the kings had come to haunt Judith. So this is really exciting. So I am absolutely fascinated with anything which includes tombs and mummies, and a romance brewing in it is definitely something which I'm looking forward to. The next on my TBR is Married in a Moment with Jessica Steele. So this was the book I just mentioned, which is about a wedding cover. So this does not exactly look like a wedding cover, but yes, there is a wedding in it because the main theme is about wedding. So it's absolutely, the synopsis is absolutely hilarious. So it all happened so fast. Gideon Langford suggested to Eleanor that to gain guardianship of baby Violet, she should marry him. It took Eleanor a few seconds to get over her shock. Just one of the many since Violet's parents went missing on vacation. There was no time to waste. Gideon reckoned they needed a marriage certificate within days, otherwise their claim to Violet would be in jeopardy. For the sake of a tiny niece, Eleanor became Mrs. Gideon Langford. Only married for the moment, Gideon insisted that for appearance's sake, he and Eleanor lived together as man and wife, which was fine until they fell in love and began to wonder what would happen if Violet's mom and dad were ever found. Who says you can't hurry in love? So this is actually hilarious, and I'm really looking forward to getting to this very soon. And the next on my TBR, which is the fifth book, is called Enchanted April by Elizabeth Vaughan Arnim. So this is actually set in the spring, and it's spring and summer. It's between spring and summer, and the book I heard is hilarious. So the synopsis reads as: a recipe for happiness, 4 women, 1 medieval Italian castle, plenty of wisteria, and solitude as needed. The women at the center of the Enchanted April are alike only in the dissatisfaction with their everyday lives. They find each other at the castle of their dreams through a classified ad in London newspaper one rainy February afternoon. The ladies expect a pleasant holiday, but they don't anticipate that the month they spent in Portofino will reintroduce them to their true natures and reacquaint them with their joy. Now, if the same transformation can be worked on their husbands and lovers, the enchantment will be complete. So this happens to be hilarious. I've heard really good things about it, and of course it's a classic. I think it was published somewhere in the 1920s, or maybe I'm wrong. I'm not too sure. But yes, this is actually a hilarious book. The next on my TBR is probably the only adult book, which this author has written. The author is L.M. Montgomery, and the book is The Blue Castle, because she is the author of the very famous children's series, the Emily series, as well as Anne of Green Gables, etc. So this is the only adult book which she has written. So the synopsis reads as: if it had not rained on a certain May morning, Valency Sterling's whole life would have been entirely different. At 29, Valency had never been in love, and it seemed romance had completely passed her by. Her only consolation was the forbidden books of John Foster and her daydreams of the Blue Castle. All her life, Valency lived on a quiet little street in an ugly little house, never daring to contradict her overbearing mother and meddlesome aunt. Until the fateful day a letter arrived from Dr. Trent, and Valency decided to throw caution to the wind once and for all. For the first time in her life, Valency said and did exactly what she wanted. Soon, she discovered a world full of fine surprises and real adventures that she never knew could exist outside of a secret blue castle. So that's probably the sixth one on my TBR. The last book on my TBR is Bride of Pendorric, again by Victoria Holt. So I do have 3 Victoria Holts on my TBR. So of course this is a gothic retro romance again. So the synopsis reads as: Fable Farrington meets Rock Pendorric on the idyllic Mediterranean island of Capri, where she was raised and lives with her father. Rock sweeps her off her feet, taking her from her home by an emerald sea to the ancient family home of Pendorric's in Cornwall. His sister and her family await them with open arms. Welcoming young Fable, she is much anticipated Bride of Pendorric, a name that amuses and flatters her. The castle is beautiful in its ways, but the atmosphere is foreboding. Rock's twin nieces begins watching her carefully. Even the stones in the courtyard seems to have eyes. On the walls hang portraits of 2 other brides of Pendorric. One of them, Rock's mother, who died both young and tragically. Fable's fear increases as Rock seems to be growing more and more distant. Has her courtship and marriage been just a deception? Soon Fable can no longer dismiss as accidents the strange things happening to her. Someone is trying to kill her, and she must confront the very real dangers that surround her. So these are the 7 books that I plan on reading. Now, of course, the readathon is for 2 weeks, but as Storm suggested, we are most welcome to read for the entire month. So yes, this TBR is actually planned out for the entire month. So I will keep you updated of things as I progress through my TBR and through these books, but of course there is a high chance of possibility that this might just spill over to the month of August as well, but we'll see how it goes from there. So that's all that I have on my TBR for you today. Do let me know what you think about it, and also how you found this video. And if you really liked this video and if you've appreciated it, do please leave a like and leave a comment if you do have the time, and of course subscribe to this channel. So with that, I will be wrapping up this video. I'll see you soon with another video. So till then, take care, have a good reading week ahead, and namaste.